Hello everyone, my name is Lisa. Thank you for dropping by. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. So, how have you been? Hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I'm sharing some of the planners that I'm using for 2025. So, without further ado, let's dive right into it. The first planner I'm going to share is called Jibun Techo Days Mini, which is a totally new one for me. But it made me excited to use it for my health and wellness journal. Let's take a closer look at what it looks like. So before getting Jibun Techo Days Mini, I wanted to make sure whether or not it really worked for me. So I ended up giving the layout a shot using Hobonichi Cousin, which was slightly bigger than the actual B5 size, but it was pretty good. Here is a system that I tried out before the new year began. I divided it into a few sections so that I could write down the things I wanted to keep track of, like things to do on that day, including my work, meal plans, shopping plans, and things like that. Since Hobonichi Cousin A5 size has a bit of large space, I utilized some stamps to categorize it in one page. If you wanted to try out the system of Jibun Techo Days Mini, you can substitute it for using Hobonichi Cousin like this. Of course, it's not the same size, but you can make sure it works for you or not before purchasing it. So as you can see, I'm using some of the stamps so that I can categorize each space. So these are the stamps called Shiawase Hanko, which I've been using for the last several years. But recently, I added some of the stamps to my collections because I prefer to use stamps rather than stickers. So some of them are from Hobonichi stores. Alright, so here is what my current techo looks like. So far, so good. Moving on, the second one is Jibun Techo Biz Mini for my work planner. The paper quality is very high and it's slightly thicker than Jibun Techo Days. I actually had been using Jibun Techo Biz for 5 years, but since 2023, I have changed to Hobonichi Techo. So I know the system and how it works for me. But when it comes to Jibun Techo Days, this is the very first time to utilize it. I'm sorry I'm gonna share what it looks like because it includes confidential information, but I think this Jibun Techo Biz or other Jibun Techo can make you stay disciplined, or maybe I should say it makes you more consistent person. It really works for me actually. Alright, so next up, this is the Sunny Techo, which I think many of you are not familiar with, but so did I. When I surfed on the internet last summer to find something great for my study planner, I stumbled upon the one exactly what I wanted, which was a notebook, and I found that Planner's company was called Iroha Publishing, which was the same company as the Sunny Techo. So that was the first time to know the Sunny Techo, and then I ended up using it for my Spanish study planner. So the best part of this planner is to have a simple layout but functional. On top of that, the color pattern attracts me, and I love the vertical Weekl so much. Here's the Weekl vertical page that I'm using and what it looks like. The paper is Tomoe River, the same paper as Hobonichi, but it's rather thin and it has ink smudges, unfortunately. So in terms of paper quality, I guess some people prefer to use Hobonichi or other planners, but for me, this really works and it's very functional to keep track of what I learned on the day. So on the back, there are 3 pages to jot down whatever you want, and I think it can be used as a bullet journal because it has the index page, page number at the bottom left and right, and also it has dot pages. You have more than 130 pages at the back, and then my wish list pages, and then a word map, a Japanese map, a book list, a watch list, and so on. So here are the pages that I'm using. Since there is no timeline, I divided into 3 for Spanish and 1 for French. And I'm writing the goals and reflections for that week, things that I need to do, or sometimes I have a tracker at the bottom. Overall, I really like this vertical system, and so far it really works for me. Next up, this is the Hobonichi Weeks English version. I actually changed from the Unsodo Japanese version because I found the Japanese quote at the bottom made me uncomfortable over time. I was like, I don't need that. So I used to use Hobonichi Weeks for the study planner last year, and after some trial and error, I was like, I'm gonna use it for my French. But it turned out I had almost nothing to write down because my target language for 2025 is not French but Spanish, which is my top priority. So instead, I ended up using it for the habit tracker slash what we call stop procrastinating planner. Alright, so here is what it looks like. First of all, I have only 3 goals that I wanted to achieve in that week and make 3 different color dots on the top right. And then I put the next goal, which I picked reading a book, on the middle right. And then I put 3 dots on each day to see if I can get them done on that day. The rest of the space is mostly things to do or plans on that week. And I also use some stamps to decorate or highlight an important task or schedule. At the back of the pages, I'm using it for the annual habit tracker, learning French, doing Pilates, morning yoga, cardio, meditating, and things like that. I really like this system so much. Next, this is the Hobonichi 5-year techo that has been used for the last 3 years. That means this is the 3rd year to use it. So for the last 2 years, I just write down the things I did, who I met, what I did, just mundane things. But from this year, I'm thinking I'm gonna write about the things I am so grateful for. Because when I look back on the past and see this techo, I feel so bad when I see the negative words or, I don't want to see a negative comment or even complaining about something. So I'm writing things positive, and I guess that makes me happy or everyone happy. Okay. So moving on, last but not least, this is A5 notebook that I've been using for the last year for journaling. It really worked for me to organize my ideas and thoughts and sometimes ask myself to be a better version of myself. So I'm going to use it in the same way as I did last year. Okay, so these are the planners and notebooks that I'm using for 2025, but honestly, I'm not quite sure whether I'm using all of them until the end of the year 2025 because I'm considering trying out other systems that might work for me, which is our bullet journal. I've never tried it before, but actually I've been giving it a shot for a few weeks and I found it very functional. So yeah, let me excuse first that I might change the system a bit. So thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate your likes and comments. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment. If you have a similar interest, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video, and once again, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful new year 2025 and see you in the next video. Bye!